So if you've ever tried to run a standard USB cable across a big room, you know the frustration.
Oh, absolutely.
You hit that wall at about 5 meters, and it feels so arbitrary. But it's not, is it?
No, not at all. That 5-meter limit is pure physics. USB signals rely on incredibly precise timing and voltage.
Right.
And over a simple copper wire, both of those degrade, and they degrade fast. If the signal gets too slow or the voltage drops too low, poof, the device just disconnects.
So you're stuck. If you need a high-res camera or maybe a specialized scanner 50 meters away, it's just not possible with standard gear.
Exactly.
Which is why today we're doing a deep dive into this solution, the Blustream UEX50B-KIT USB 2.0 extender set.
Our mission here is to really dissect how the engineering in this kit shatters that 5-meter barrier and gets you reliable data all the way out to 50 meters.
Okay, let's unpack this then. 50 meters is a huge leap for copper. How exactly are they managing a reliable 480 megabits per second over that kind of distance?
That's the core question, really. And why a single CCAT cable?
Oh.
I mean, you could use a more expensive fiber solution.
Right.
But CCAT cable is just so much more cost-effective and, frankly, easier to install in most professional settings. So what the Blustream kit does is it uses proprietary tech to condition the signal between the transmitter, the TX unit, and the receiver, the RX.
I see.
And here's the crucial part. To guarantee that full USB 2.0 bandwidth, that 480 megabits, you absolutely must use a certified Cat5e or better cable for the whole run.
That's a critical detail for anyone planning a deployment. No skimping on the cable.
None.
And we should mention, while it's high speed, it's still backwards compatible with older USB 1.1 devices. And for you, the listener, the best part is it's just plug and play. No drivers needed.
Yep, simple. Now, moving on to the connectivity itself, the whole system is built for multiple devices.
Okay.
So the transmitter unit, that's the TX, connects to your host computer with a single USB Type-B port. Then, 50 meters away, the receiver acts like a little 4-port USB hub for all your peripherals.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting for me. It's not just about extending the signal, it's about power reliability, right? And the power on that receiver hub is segmented.
It is, and that's a key design choice.
Why do that? Why segment the power?
Well, it's all about optimizing for what you might plug in. Ports 1 and 2 are high power. They support 5 volts at 1 amp.
A full amp?
A full amp. While ports 3 and 4 give you the more standard 5 volts at 500 milliamps. So what this really lets you do is plug your power-hungry devices, like an external SSD or a high-draw printer, into those 1 amp ports.
And that ensures you have enough juice to prevent any voltage sag or, those intermittent dropouts, especially that far away from the host.
Exactly. You're getting managed, regulated power 50 meters down the line.
So with all that signal conditioning and complex power management, what's the physical footprint like? Are these big, clunky boxes?
Not at all, actually. They're surprisingly practical. Both the transmitter and receiver units are these compact little boxes, about 84 by 60 millimeters.
Pretty small.
Very. They do need a dedicated 12-volt, 2-amp power supply, but that's what you need to reliably power all 4 of those downstream devices.
Okay, and to round out the picture, there's a 5-year warranty, which provides some serious assurance. The retail price is listed at $439, though the source does mention a 10% off discount code is available.
Right.
So what does this all mean for someone who needs this?
Well, what the kit really buys you isn't just distance.
No.
It's that reliable, managed power distribution. It's ensuring you get your full 480 megabits per second, 50 meters away, and all over common, easy-to-run Cat5e cable.
Indeed. It solves a very specific and very frustrating problem.
It does, but, as a final provocative thought to leave you with,
Go on.
when you're planning a deployment, you have to consider the environmental constraints. The source lists the operational temperature range as 32 degrees up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
So a standard office environment is fine.
Right. But what if you're using this in, say, an industrial setting or a warehouse that might get hotter than 104 degrees in the summer? Understanding the thermal limit is absolutely critical if you want to ensure long-term reliability. Something to think